The climax of the International Championships was, as ever, played in front of a packed house at the Royal Albert Hall in London. The amateur ballroom champions were defending Danish couple Emanuel Valeri and Tanja Kellet. While in the amateur Latin Championship, Neil and Ekaterina scored a hugely popular win as they successfully defended their 2011 title in front of a hugely appreciative home crowd. The 2012 professional ballroom champions are Arunas and Katusha, notching up their 4th title. But it was the professional Latin that caused the biggest stir of the night when, after 4 years of being runners-up to Michael Malitovsky and Joanna Lunis, Riccardo Cocci and Julia took their first international championship crown. Enjoy the highlights with us now.
It's quite an unusual colour there from Natasha, I think I'm seeing. It's sort of like a grey-green colour. Yeah. That's unusual, but I like unusual colours because they really stand out.
Yeah, that's true. But the white on this floor always looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's stunning, absolutely stunning.
And there's some beautiful dancing there from Domen. Such good balance. You know, we talked about balance earlier on, didn't we, when we talked about the expert thing. And Arunas and Katusha, as I said, they've now won it since 2009, so this would be their 4th year if they should win it this year.
Actually, her signature colour is generally white. She loves wearing white, but of course she can't wear white all the time. So no, this time we can see she's gone for lilac.
Andrea and Sarah there, as I was going to say earlier on, they've actually been amateur champions twice. Domen and Monica showing some beautiful controlled chassis descent there and quick open reverse. To a hover, showing beautiful control of balance. There's that dress colouring that you were talking about.
Yeah, very
Sasha.
different.
And Natasha rather. Sasha's in black as normal.
That's right. It would be a bit wrong if he was wearing green.
I don't know, it might be different.
Oh, it might be different for sure.
Beautiful throwaway oversway there, fully extended. Everybody seems to want to be in that corner with Robin Short. I think that's obviously where the party is. This is also going to be a very difficult final to place because I think our chairman, Mr. Stan Page, will soon put that right. Andrea and Sarah there. They really have made the jump into the professional ranks so quickly and moving as they have. I mean, at the moment they must be ranked 3rd in the world, and from 2 years ago winning this title as an amateur.
Unbelievable. It's interesting how some people are very suited to professionals.
Yes.
Some people come out of amateur and they don't suit the professional at all, and some people really, really do.
The way they make this dance so easy, they make it look so simple.
Oh, there we go. Talking of simple, that wasn't simple.
And the look that Victor gave him then was not as friendly as maybe sometimes it could be. I'm sure it wasn't intended. But sometimes when you're dancing and that happens, I mean, in the heat of the moment, you always think that...
in the earlier rounds, there were quite a few falls.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
thank you very much, professionals.
I do like Paso Doble, but I don't really have a favourite. It depends what mood I'm in.
Latin American dancing, yes.
Here we have Julia again.
Yep.
She always has all the time in the world. I think that's a really...
That's the secret, isn't it,
yeah,
of
that's
dancing?
a real... Yeah. It's so hard to do that because even though she has lots of different speed changes and intricate foot movements, she's still got the time.
And Riccardo, obviously, there, he's always in the right place to catch.
Yes, yeah.
It's sometimes the difficulty of a male dancer, isn't it? You know, you've got this very, very fast, rhythmical partner that you're dancing with, and you've got to be on the ball all the time to catch them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to look together at the same time.
Michael and Joanna. As you said, their routines are so full of tricks, and they come out of the blue. I mean, things
Yes.
like opening out there, and then they're standing still, and all of a sudden you'll see spins like that.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Nobody else can spin like
No,
that.
no. And then this développé
That's
here.
her signature move.
Yeah. Just missed as we now take on Sergey. Melia.
She's always so passionate, and she puts absolutely 150% into everything she does.
And in the front there, Stefano and Dasha. He must be really feeling so pleased with himself as well, because when they started earlier over at Brentford, it wasn't quite gelling together. And in each one of the rounds, he's getting more. Now she's going to believe in herself, isn't she?
Yeah, definitely.
Linda and Sergey. Or I should say Andre.
Andre.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, with your applause, they present The Jive. Thank you, Steve.
Of course, now the question is, will Michael and Joanna make it 8? Or will Ricardo and Julia break their duck here? Come from second to win, or will there be an upset? Maurizio is trying to be that upset. There you are, Stefano, as you say,
Full of energy.
running on pure adrenaline there.
Some intricate
Ricardo
rhythms
certainly
there.
hasn't given up the fight, has he? Lots of rhythm going on there.
Jive is a tricky dance to try and change the rhythm with them, because I think it's so important to keep going with the bounce and the jive rhythm. I think sometimes couples try and be clever with the choreography, and
And to create, when you do create the stillness, you create stillness and then
Yes.
immediately start the energy again. You're dancing around with them in here, don't you? She's bobbing around on her seat, folks. And as I've said before, this room is rather bijou, so, you know, all this rocking on my knee is not good.
Jive always does that to me. Right about now, they're feeling very tired, but
Roll
they've
his
got to
sleeves
keep
up there.
going. This is it, the last bit. It all counts. Because those judges are still
Doing his lap
looking.
of honour.
Oh, well done. Fantastic final.
You feel like you want to clap in here, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. Listen to that audience. It's so good when you're on that final, listening to that audience, is that noise
Incredible.
is unbelievable. But you had a very good Latin girl there in Jane. And of course you may have noticed from the accent, he's not quite English, this guy.
Not quite.
No. Although you've been sort of here, how many years have you been here?
Well, I've lived here longer than I've lived, certainly a lot longer than I've lived here, about 30 years now.
Andrew and Karina there in this final, I think for the first time. Yeah, that's Chong and Jing. Again, we talked about this back line, didn't we, John? You know, it's fantastic.
Yes, tango I find is an interesting dance for the ballroom dancers. Sometimes the soft dancers can struggle with this.
Yes. Sergio and Dorota there, though.
No trouble for this couple.
No, Marek and Paulina, they have that power through the legs, through the shape, through the body. Nice slow contra check there, but then that shows the differences, doesn't it?
Yes.
Between the speed.
A nice slow movement into some quick speed. It's all about control and acceleration.
Yep. Good cash there. This is one of the dances that he maybe loses a little bit because he's got such body flight
Yes.
that is not needed in the tango.
They're very tall dancers.
Yeah, yeah. And Manuel and Tanya, they seem to switch from the flight dances, the swing dances to this tango.
Great foot speed there.
Yeah.
Connection together.
Yeah, the passion of the dance, you can see that. Yeah, we're flashing backwards now to Andrew and Karina. Just a small bump there with Marek.
Thank you very much to our amateur competitors.
But you were saying earlier, John, that this dance looks beautiful and looks so nice, but it's such a difficult dance to keep. You know, to keep that posture because of the rotation.
Yes, it's the laws of physics, isn't it? Rotation for two objects to rotate around, they have to be as one. So the dance in itself, the dance structure is quite simple, but the technique is quite difficult.
Yes.
Two people to keep rotating around.
Well, it's also that speed of rotation on the natural turns there, where you have to keep the foot flat because there's no chance to do the rise and fall, as you see there, so well illustrated by Manuel and Tanya. The drawing of that flat foot to the side to keep the body flat, so you're able then to take the weight to drive through onto the next step.
Yes, I think that's this is a perfect example by them why they have been the champions.
Marek also showing very well that technique. Slightly rise there on the front half.
Yeah, that's good dancing.
This is where Lukasz also comes into his own because he's got such long legs. He can swing so powerful.
Yes, free swinging, isn't it? Free movement. Creating just the right amount of sway.
A nice slow contra check there to finish the dance up from Chong and Jing.
This samba. Thank you, Steve.
So from
And
a
of course-
stationary dance to a progressive dance.
Yeah, and with only 6 couples on the floor now, it gives them a lot more space. Ferdinando and Julia.
The great thing about Ferdinand and Julia is that their choreography is always readable.
Yeah. But there's so much rhythm in that body as well, though, isn't there? So we have Neil and Katerina.
They look like they're having a good time out there, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the crowd are going to be behind him 100%.
Trolls and Nina, they're really after this, you can see. What I like about this couple is that they combine a subtlety and a rhythm with power, so they have both facets.
Such basic dancing as well, such basic fundamental steps. Morton and Rosalina there. They are dancing so well. You know, sometimes when you make the final for the first time, the excitement takes over, doesn't it? Mirko and Maria there.
Mirko's had a haircut. He used to have a ponytail.
That is a new short haircut, isn't it?
We've all done the ponytail.
Shorter than yours, John. Yeah. Back with Marek and Kinga there. And as you say, you always read what they're doing. You always see their steps.
Yeah, I'm delighted for this couple. They've worked hard over the years.
But that floor's very hot as well, isn't it, John? I mean, with all the lights, it does sap your energy.
Oh, it's very hot out there.
Grand finalist, Latin amateurs.
Do you find it awkward, John, that when you've judged this competition, that you only judge 2 dances out of the 5,
Thank you, Steve.
and therefore you don't really have chance to get into the competition? Or do you like watching, sitting and watching?
Yeah, I quite like sitting and watching. I think you get the benefit of both judging and the enjoyment of watching at this event.
Yeah, because I think what some people don't realise that when you're actually watching like this, it's a different method than judging, isn't it? When you're judging, it's a quick, what do I like, what do I see? Like that beautiful dancing there from Neil and Katya, beautiful line there, settlement onto that fan position, excellent stuff.
See, they're beautiful and soft.
Yeah.
It's not harsh, the speed changes, the speed is absorbed even though the acceleration is great.
And Kirill and Elvira there. A lovely girl again, wonderful leg action.
Kirill's a very powerful male dancer.
Yeah. And he's certainly dancing well tonight.
There's no nonsense there.
Yeah. Third is doing so well. But they're so good together, aren't they? They're perfect fall for each other. Their styles blend so well. And we were talking earlier with Brian Watson about the togetherness of their dance. Morton and Rosalina there.
Yeah.
44.
Doing a good job, aren't they?
They
Especially
are.
for their first final. You know, Morton, he hasn't quite got, you might say, the postural strength of, say, the top 3 boys.
It's the final extension, isn't it?
Yeah.
Final 2-3 inches, 3 centimetres to
You
finish
know,
everything off.
they're only young, and they've got time on their side.
Do you know, I like that newer hairstyle.
Yeah. I love their dancing.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if you were teaching a couple, you would say, look at their dancing, that's good fundamentals. Their fundamentals are correct.
Absolutely.